real quick. This is back in Battlefield 2042. It is a pretty bad rep game, as is, and I just want to go over something real quick though for the vehicles, since it is a pretty broken game as it stands. For some reason, the devs keep thinking that buffing the transport vehicles is a good idea, and if you guys watch any of the patches, they kind of switched around a couple things for vehicles for a couple times, and they made it to where the assault vehicles like the tank, the Apache helicopter, uh, VTOLs or the Felon right here, all this kind of stuff, even the Nightbird, that also counts as an assault vehicle, I guess, and the Bolt, all of them have way less units that can actually be deployed at a single time. So I think it went from like 3 or 4 down to 2 at a time in a single match or at a single given time. And they buffed the transport vehicles like the hovercraft, the uh, recon or like the Jeep that you get to drive around in. The MAV, I guess, that technically doesn't really count as a support vehicle, or I mean, a attack vehicle, so it is a support carrier, I guess. And yeah, the M240 like Super High, which is essentially the Condor, but a different helicopter is just on a different team for the Russians. So it's about the same thing. So they buffed the amount that you can possibly have in a single match, so you can actually have way more transport vehicles in on ground or in the air. I go with the air one because the MV-38 Condor has a gunner. I think it's actually the first one, so I don't have it unlocked right now, but as you can see, it's a 50 millimeter cannon. They buffed this to where it is able to essentially make the Condor or the VTOL a miniature AC-130 flying in the air. And as a transport vehicle, it is one of the biggest ones you can get in the game, so it has a massive amount of health. And I want to go over this something really cool. Everyone that jumps into this, as it is a transport vehicle, every time that one of your enemies or one of your teammates in the other guns, like Gunner 2 and 3, or 1, whatever it is, uh, anytime they get a kill, you get an assist point towards it because technically you're in the same vehicle and you're helping them out in some form or fashion. And you'll be getting passive points for ranking up as long as they're doing good. On top of this, especially with the actual 50 millimeter cannon, that's a large amount of free points just kind of being racked up with you every time you get a teammate in. There's other ways to get points as well. So obviously, you can go to your actual loadout here. I am running the one that actually helps me out the most for assist points. I don't know why that was not changed here, but I'm running the Scar on here. They had another buff towards all of the guns, I think, and especially assault rifles, and they made it to where the actual default recoil to all these guns have been significantly reduced to where they are essentially all laser beams. So the Scar is one of the hardest hitting assault rifles. Actually, you can see in the stats it is the hardest hitting. The AC-42 is technically the second hardest hitting gun uh, because it is a 3 round burst and it shoots extremely fast where the bullets are coming out at 1,200 rounds per minute. So it does seem it kills really dang well and actually feels really good. So you can use that, but I go with the Scar because you can just tap fire it and it has pretty much the same rate of fire when you're tap firing it, almost like no burst delay at all. And it also hits like a dang truck, and it comes with stopping power rounds by default, and you can also get yourself a 40 round one, which I haven't just unlocked yet, but I have used it off of other people's guns. Uh, but it's really cool here because you also have a built-in grenade launcher right off the bat, and you get high explosives by default. So what I would do, this is going to be the best way for you to guys actually to be racking up points. You run this gun, obviously it has a large amount of damage, so you're able to gun down targets on the side of the Condor if you don't want to use one of the guns, or one of these guns on there is already being used, or all of them are. You can use this, you'll be able to gun people down fairly quickly, it only takes a couple shots to kill them. And you can switch over to the explosive grenade launcher and then wipe out a ton of them if there's a bunch of infantry on the ground. You also have armor piercing, so if there's tanks and stuff, you can wipe them out, especially with that 50 millimeter cannon on top. Both of you guys shooting at that thing at once, you're able to destroy armor really quickly in this Condor, and that makes it to where that you're an absolute menace to society. And by doing that, all of your teammates will be sharing points, and obviously you'll just be getting straight kills out of this. and it will be really cool while your teammates are getting a large amount of points. As you can already see, that alone will just give you tons of points racking in towards your level, and it makes it to where that you can essentially have so many different ways of increasing your XP, but it can actually go even further. So your gadget, you want to have a repair tool. If you're going to be on the side of this condor, this is essentially what you're going to be using if you plan to stick inside this VTOL for a long period of time. It's a repair tool. You go to a vehicle and repair it over time. I recommend running this with an actual teammate, or see if he's able to jump into the same VTOL and also have a repair tool. So there's two people repairing this thing at a single time, and it makes it to where that the Condor is very hard to actually take down unless everyone focus firing on that single vehicle. But if it's has some pretty competent players, which you have to have a lot of, you know, trust in those random players, and usually they're not the best. It's randoms we're talking about here. So, uh, but if they're really good, you don't really need to worry about that a whole lot. You run the repair tools. Every time you repair the vehicle, every so often you'll be getting even more assist points because they're keeping them in the air, and they're going to be keep on feeding you more and more assist points, and that's another way of getting assist points. And obviously, you want to go with the throwable, which is the proxy sensor, giving you even more assist points on the ground for scanning people. So all of this all together will start racking up all of your points. And again, it's also shared. Everything that you do is also shared to all the other players. So technically, it is the super booster vehicle. If you want to level up, jump inside this one vehicle right now before uh, they probably ever patch it, because it is extremely good when it comes to getting a large amount of assist points. And you really don't need to put any effort into it at all. All you have to do is just keep this thing in the air. You'll be able to keep it safe. If there is any way that you also have foot soldiers or infantry on your team helping you out and they actually clear out an objective and you're taking it, the pilot, if he's knows that you can actually fly down near an objective and you can actually slowly help capture the objective too with this thing, you guys get even more points for the zone capture. So again, you have like 4 to 5, maybe 6 different ways of getting extra XP and points towards your weapons, and it is really solid. So I recommend checking that out. If you want to run also like another specialist, I'm running Casper at the moment. I was doing suicide drone bombings and stuff like that with the C4 and stuff for a while, but you can also run other people like Angel or anything along those lines. It's really up to you guys. But I want to go over that real quick because it is something that if you guys want to get Battlefield 2042 or if you want to rank up fast, that is the way for you to do it. This will also, I believe, combine with the actual Hind as well. Let me go over here real quick and see. Yeah, so the Hind is essentially just the Russian version of the Condor or the VTOL, so it's their version of their transport helicopter. It works exactly the same, has the exact same stats, just different model. So uh, you can work with that too. So either of these, go ahead and jump into either the Condor or the Super Hind and get yourself a bunch of XP. If you're able to, use any gun that you can and use a underbarrel grenade launcher if you unlock it, so you have the most amount of firepower along with the hardest hitting rounds. The AK-24 and the SCAR on here, the SFAR-M, I guess, if you want to call it that, will be the best ones for you. So thank you guys for watching. And if you guys want to see more 2042 or Battlefield 2042, just let me know. I know it is not the best game in the world, especially for how broken it is right now. But, broken stuff might actually make it to where you can pull some crazy stuff like this off. So, if you guys find anything else that is really broken like this, so let me know down in the comments, because I'll be showing all you guys that. And you can probably have a major uh, boost towards leveling up and getting better at the game way faster. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.